Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. Chi Blood Palace leader and Beifeng Knight were known not to be trifled with. Luo Feng quickly waved his golden wings and flew off in another direction. I didn't expect to be discovered so soon, he muttered. The whirlpool portal to the outside is likely to have been discovered already. If I go there, I'll be walking into a trap. Well, I'll just go to another original star through another whirlpool portal. Chi Blood Palace leader and Beifeng Knight looked at him indifferently. Apparently, everything was under their control. It's your turn, Chi Blood Palace leader said. Beifeng looked at Luo Feng in the distance. His eyes glinted. Suddenly, the flow of time surrounding him twisted. An invisible soul attack immediately caught Golden Horned Beast and penetrated his body. It quickly started to consume his godly power. Each part of his godly power contained a soul imprint, meaning Luo Feng would be doomed if he was eroded. Seal. Power Pearl let out countless threads and connected the entire godly body instantly. The soul erosion assaulted his soul. However, Luo Feng had a mighty willpower in addition to a Tower Pearl to guard it. Soul erosion couldn't affect Luo Feng at all. Beifeng Knight looked contentedly at Golden Horned Beast, flying in one direction and slowing down because of the resistance. He transmitted his voice to Chi Blood Palace leader. I don't think I successfully eroded his soul, he said, but he must have been affected when he tried to defend himself from my soul attack. Now, it's your turn. Just wait and see, Chi Blood Palace leader said. He charged at Golden Horned Beast like a flash of light. Beifeng Knight was following him. Golden Horned Beast. Chi Blood Palace leader called out as he raised the ancient spear in his hand. The 3 blood stains on the tip glowed with countless bloody lore engravings. Chi Blood Palace leader emanated bloody energy. His eyes turned red, and he quickly pressed on toward Golden Horned Beast. Break! Chi Blood Palace leader growled and burned his godly power. At the same time, a huge amount of godly power was infused into his spear. He waved his spear fiercely. The spear pierced toward Golden Horned Beast, who just noticed it and tried to close his wings to protect himself. Jiang! The spear was so forceful that the space it passed through was twisted wickedly, forming visible space ripples. It punctured the wing of Golden Horned Beast. This weapon was mighty. Golden Horned Beast bounced away under the force of the shockwave. It was like he'd been hit by a planet. Go. Don't let him escape. Chi Blood Palace leader said. Beifeng Knight and Chi Blood Knight chased after Golden Horned Beast. So powerful. Golden Horned Beast thought after the blast. He could feel the extent of his injury. I pretended to be affected, because I wanted to test the power of the terrific spear. No wonder it's so famous. Even my Shawu Wing didn't help to resist it. Luo Feng already knew that the more powerful an attack was, the less useful an ordinary true treasure armor would be against it. Shawu Wing was a flying true treasure. Although the wing could be utilized as a shield, it was, after all, inferior to real armor-type true treasures. Luo Feng speculated that Shawu Wing only weakened the attack by half, while Force Armor weakened it by 99.99%. Together, Golden Horned Beast bore 1/20,000th of the power of the Chi Blood Spear. That was like a drill, said Luo Feng. The power still entered my godly body after piercing through Shawu Wing and Force Armor, until it was annihilated by my godly body completely. Luo Feng was startled. Regardless, I was still injured. Although the injury was nothing given the enormous godly body, the Golden Horned Beast had been injured. Luo Feng was still in shock. If it hadn't been for the Force Armor. If he had only been wearing an ordinary true treasure armor. He could only drive the second form. If that had been the case, it would have been lucky if that armor could weaken the attack to 1/10 its original strength. 1/20,000th compared to 1/10, a difference of 2,000 times. That meant that if someone was over 1,000 times stronger than the other, he could annihilate his enemy with one move without consuming any energy. For instance, when a pinnacle emperor wanted to kill an undying fighter, he could easily do so without consuming any of his godly power. What? Why is he still so powerful? Chi Blood Palace leader said. He was shocked. Even if he wielded the third form of an ordinary true treasure armor, he could, at most, only weaken the power by 99%. I performed my ultimate technique, by consuming almost 1/1000th of my godly body, and using Chi Blood Spear. He should have been severely injured. Golden Horned Beast waved his wing and sped up. Too fast. Chi Blood Palace leader said. Beifeng Knight, hurry. Stop him. Leave it to me. Beifeng Knight said as he looked up at Golden Horned Beast. He performed his soul attack again, attempting to affect Golden Horned Beast. However, instead of slowing down, Golden Horned Beast kept speeding up, nearly hitting light speed. He's not affected. Beifeng Knight was amazed. We've been tricked. Chi Blood Palace leader said, transmitting his voice. He wasn't affected at all. He deliberately withstood my attack to demonstrate his enormous defending power. Rat bastard. He was insulting me. Insulting me. Stop him, Beifeng Knight. I'll teach him the consequences for insulting me. Chi Blood Palace leader roared hoarsely. His eyes glinted with bloodthirstiness. Ever since obtaining his Chi Blood Spear, he had become more and more ferocious. He was usually able to control it, but when he was triggered, he would occasionally go mad. And he was the most terrifying when he went mad. Beifeng Knight looked at Golden Horned Beast from afar and waved his hands. 30,000 blade daggers showed up and flew toward the Golden Horned Beast. It was a spiritual force true treasure Beifeng Knight owned, and as a great being proficient in soul attack, he was also good at using spiritual weapons. Even the speed of a great being couldn't compare with that of a spiritual force weapon. The spiritual weapons kept drawing near. After a short while, they surrounded Luo Feng. No, the Golden Horned Beast said. He knew he was in trouble when he saw tens of thousands of shadows flying toward him. Wing cap. Golden Horned Beast opened his golden wing. It immediately grew larger and blocked most of the black daggers. Some of them pierced through the belly of the Golden Horned Beast and kept hitting his body. Golden Horned Beast body slowed down sharply as Beifeng Knight and Chi Blood Palace leader approached. Damn you two. Still chasing, he said. I have force armor to protect me. They really think they can hurt me. I pretended to be affected by the soul attack, because I wanted to feel the power of the legendary Chi Blood Spear. Otherwise, they wouldn't have even had a chance to injure me. You want to stop me by using a spiritual force weapon, he said. If I use Golden Thread Aurora Mirror, it'll have a much stronger resistance power than your spiritual force weapon. Golden Horned Beast body looked back coldly. He didn't even consider Chi Blood Palace leader and Beifeng Knight to be a threat. Though he was far inferior when it came to attacking power, his force armor and the enormous godly could make Beifeng Knight and Chi Blood Palace leader despair. He only wanted to test the power of Chi Blood Spear, and now he was leaving. Regardless, I need to get rid of those two, he thought. Otherwise, my plan will be seen through. I'll teach them a lesson first. Golden Horned Beast body growled and waved his wing. He turned back and dashed at Beifeng Knight and Chi Blood Palace leader. Chi Blood Palace leader was exhilarated seeing this, and he shouted, that stupid Golden Horned Beast wanted to die. I'll happily satisfy his wish. Chi Blood Palace leader burned his godly body and raced toward Golden Horned Beast body. Golden Horned Beast's wings struck out like blades. Ha ha ha. Bloody light flashed across the eyes of Chi Blood Palace leader, and his Chi Blood Spear was covered with bloody light as well. He had gone completely insane. It was like two stars hitting each other. The space trembled. Golden Horned Beast body clashed against Chi Blood Palace leader with his sharp wing again and again while Chi Blood Palace leader kept dodging it. At the same time, he wielded his spear unrelentingly. The way he wielded his spear was strange. It went faster and faster, and his godly body became more and more forceful. They fought each other fiercely for several seconds. Chi Blood Palace leader backed down first. The bloody light in his eyes had already dissipated, and he was not nearly as predatory as before. What happened, Chi Blood? Beifeng Knight asked as he flew toward him. Even your ultimate technique is not working. Your 13 spear uses the special techniques contained in Chi Blood Spear and the burning godly body. You said before that you need to burn more and more of your godly body, and few universe overlords can withstand the 13 spear. 13 spear. When the spear attacked the first time, it only consumed 1/1000th of the godly body, but the more it attacked, the more energy it consumed. And after the spear attacked 13 times, it consumed 9% of his godly body. What? What? Chi Blood Palace leader's eyes flared with shock and anger. Impossible. Impossible. I lost 9% of my godly body, but still couldn't weaken his force. Beifeng Knight and Chi Blood Palace leader glared at Golden Horned Beast. Golden Horned Beast looked back at them and growled. At the same time, the vigorous golden thread aurora domain enveloped the hundreds of millions of square miles around them. Beifeng Knight and Chi Blood Palace leader were completely trapped. It's a domain-type valuable. Golden Horned Beast body waved his wing and flew away from the endless golden thread auroras and muttered, lesson taught. Got to go now. For what it's worth, this Chi Blood Palace leader is impressive. He was able to consume 1/10,000th of my godly body even with my force armor protecting me. If I were a smaller-sized universe overlord, I might have been annihilated. In the sky above the plane, Chi Blood Palace leader and Beifeng Knight gazed at each other with fright and solemnness. Impressive. Beifeng Knight said with his mild voice. That great being from Space Beast Alliance must have a domain-type treasure and a flying-type true treasure. As for the armor he uses, it must be a senior true treasure. Yes. It's got to be a senior true treasure, and the third form has been triggered, Chi Blood Palace leader said in a deep voice. If it were only an ordinary true treasure, he wouldn't have defended against my Chi Blood Spear so easily. They exchanged eye contact. They were in trouble. A senior true treasure in its third form, together with that enormous godly body. This was a combination that could make universe overlords tremble. The more powerful a great being was, the more demeaning it was to fall. It was difficult for universe overlords to die, as even if they couldn't fight against their enemies, they could still escape. And as for those with senior true treasure armor that was able to weaken the power of an attack by 99.99%, it was almost impossible to kill them, especially if they also had enormous godly bodies. Unless, of course, the power gap was significant, or they were attacked by universe masters or universe overlords who were special life forms. We can't do anything about it, Beifeng Knight continued in his mild voice. Besides, he was alerted to what just happened. Our arrangement might not work anymore. What should we do, then? Chi Blood Palace leader asked. First of all, we can't admit that we fought that golden horned beast, Beifeng Knight said. No great beings saw us, and nobody will know if we don't tell anyone. Secondly, we'll follow the order from our alliance. A universe master is making arrangements, and there are members of our alliance sent to the whirlpool portals close to the birthplace of that godly blade. Fumo Master will come here himself later, and that golden horned beast won't be able to run away. Chi Blood Palace leader nodded. The Northern Territory Alliance was one of the strongest powers in the universe, and few could get away from the blockade. Inside an ancient forest on the original star, Golden Horned Beast hid. His eyes gleamed anxiously. What should we do? The original plan won't work now. Luo Feng had known about the godly blade of Blade River Luo in the virtual universe previously. He decided to run right after that, and he chose to run to the whirlpool portal. Based on Luo Feng's original plan, he would fly to the whirlpool portal first, and when he almost arrived, he would temporarily separate the golden horned beast body, Mosha body, and remote ocean body. The golden horned beast would transfer all the valuables to Mosha body, who would carry remote ocean body and hide by camouflaging himself as mud. Then the golden horned beast would try to pass the whirlpool portal. If he succeeded, Mosha body would follow. If he failed, he would self-destruct. At the same time, the original Earthling body of Luo Feng would seek help from Primal Chaos City Leader through the virtual universe. The Whirlpool Portal was the closest to human territory. After Primal Chaos City Leader arrived, he could take Luo Feng away with his power. The plan may have been simple, but it was also direct and efficient. However, the fight between Qi Blood Palace Leader and Beifeng Knight had made Luo Feng change his mind. They both flew here to look for me, thought Luo Feng, which means the Northern Territory Alliance is fast. Perhaps the Universe Knights from the Northern Territory Alliance recognized the blade when it unveiled itself. He could speculate from his combat with Qi Blood Palace Leader and Beifeng Knight that the Northern Territory Alliance had made arrangements for this a long time ago. The Universe Master from the Northern Territory Alliance was now on his way, and he might arrive sooner than Primal Chaos City Leader. "It'll be a slaughter if I try to run to the Whirlpool Portal now," said Luo Feng. "I'm not comfortable with this plan. But what should I do, then? Should I go to other Whirlpool Portals? There are 10,081 Whirlpool Portals on one original star, and each of them is hundreds of millions of miles away from each other. It would normally take more than half an hour to fly from one portal to another. It would take him around 15 minutes to fly from the Whirlpool Portal closest to him. If the arrangements made by the Northern Territory Alliance were as meticulous as I suspect, there will probably be guards at the Whirlpool Portals closest to the birthplace of the Godly Blade." Luo Feng shook his head. "If I go there, it'll be running into a trap." It was dangerous for him to go to any of the Whirlpool Portals connecting the outside world, regardless of the distance. Flying to the Whirlpool Portals in the distance was out of the question. The Universe Master would have arrived by the time he made it there. The Universe Master could control space and time, and he could suppress his enemies even if the enemies were far from them. How about Mosha Body's inherited technique, replication? But Luo Feng shook his head again. Mosha Body was from one of the ordinary races, and the inherited technique was just a lower-tier technique. Although it was strange and unique, it could be defeated. The Northern Territory Alliance was one of the top 9 powers in the universe, and once it had finished its arrangements, it would be almost impossible for Luo Feng to get away. "I have to turn to my teacher now," Luo Feng concluded. At the apex of Thunder Island in the virtual universe, Primal Chaos City Leader's palace was enveloped by mist. Luo Feng stepped into the palace and shouted respectfully, "Teacher." A figure in a golden cape walked out. "Luo Feng," said Primal Chaos City Leader, smiling at Luo Feng. "You should be on the original star now. What are you here for?" "I have an emergency," Luo Feng said. He hesitated. "I sent my golden horned beast body and my Mosha body to the original star." Primal Chaos City Leader nodded and listened. He surely already knew this, as the original Earthling body was in Thousand Treasures River. "I happened to get a component of Blade River Luo Feng said. "That was you." Primal Chaos City Leader was thrilled and laughed. "I just got the news that 2 space beasts from the Space Beast Alliance got the component. I was thinking that if that component could fall into the hands of us humans, it would be important leverage against the Thorn Ring Alliance." "Yes, but I'm in big trouble now. The Northern Territory Alliance also knows about it, and it started to prepare to attack me." Primal Chaos City Leader frowned. "Tell me more." "Yes, teacher." Luo Feng started to elaborate. He mentioned Qi Blood Palace Leader and Beifeng Knight by name. "You weren't hurt by them?" Primal Chaos City Leader said, looking at Luo Feng in shock. Qi Blood Palace Leader and Beifeng Knight were renowned universe overlords who represented the power of ordinary universe overlords. Primal Chaos City Leader was thrilled that Luo Feng had been able to defend against him. Instantly, he speculated that his disciple Luo Feng must have a defending true treasure, and that it might be a senior true treasure like a senior true treasure armor. However, he didn't ask Luo Feng directly. He had known for a long time that Luo Feng kept many secrets, like the exceptional power of his undying godly body, which was better than those of many universe knights. Primal Chaos City Leader had seen Luo Feng become undying, as well as the scene he had caused when the origin law arrived. Besides, Luo Feng had become undying within Thousand Treasures River, and his control on space and time told Primal Chaos City Leader that Luo Feng's godly body was stronger than that of some universe knights. Primal Chaos City Leader didn't ask any further questions. Perhaps my disciple got lucky, he thought. Perhaps he met an omnipotent being. Perhaps it's before the Grand Nirvana period. Whatever the reason, Primal Chaos City Leader was happy to see it. He didn't care what happened to his disciple, as long as he could get stronger. The more powerful Luo Feng became, the more likely that a new pillar for humans would be born. "I'm still not as good as Qi Blood Palace Leader when it comes to combat," said Luo Feng. "I survived because of my godly body." "Godly bodies are also part of your strength," Primal Chaos City Leader said. Luo Feng quickly replied, "Teacher, you must understand by now. Those great beings from the Northern Territory Alliance are coming after me. What should I do? I'll be in danger no matter which portal I go to. Please, teacher, would you help me out? You're smart enough not to make such a decision by yourself." Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. "You would be caught and killed without help now. The Northern Territory Alliance is a rival of our alliance. And they have more great beings and races. They have all sorts of special life forms and races who have inherited techniques. You won't be able to defend yourself against them. Your inherited technique replication is an impressive hiding skill. Only universe masters controlling space and time can see through your disguising." Luo Feng nodded. Control over space and time was indeed impressive, and domain and replication would both be rendered useless. As for his inherited technique strengthen, his godly body amplification could hit 100 times at most, and it would not be helpful. Inherited techniques were effective only when one's power was weak. When one became a universe master, only a few inherited techniques were still useful. However, Luo Feng had achieved a perfect life gene level, and the universe had bestowed him with one of the top-tier inherited techniques. "I am the universe." Inherited techniques can be cracked by other inherited techniques, Primal Chaos City Leader continued. There are all sorts of inherited techniques in the universe, and some might even be inherited techniques bestowed by the universe. There are different levels of inherited techniques, and naturally, they have different levels of power and usage. Some of them counteract each other. Some of them are similar to each other. However, the more powerful you become, the less useful those inherited techniques will be. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled and added, "For instance, the Soul Attack Bark Mirror Emperor was an inherited technique, but any sort of soul attacks from Universe Masters are much weaker than that." Luo Feng nodded. "The Northern Territory has set you up, and there's no way that you can use your techniques to break out." Primal Chaos City Leader shook his head. "You've underestimated its power." "Then what should I do?" Luo Feng said. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. "I have my ways." "Teacher, would you like to give me some advice?" Luo Feng asked. He listened carefully. Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. "The Northern Territory Alliance might have guards in front of every whirlpool portal, which means what you need to do is not get close to any whirlpool portal." Luo Feng was dazed, but he understood what his teacher was implying. "Teacher, do you mean that I should just wander across original stars and stay away from any whirlpool portal?" "Yes." Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. "Stay away from any whirlpool portal and the place where the godly blade unveiled itself. Then those universe overlords will find it difficult to meet you. The only way to catch you is to wait for the arrival of a universe master of the Northern Territory Alliance." Luo Feng nodded. It would be safe for him not to go to the whirlpool portal. However, a universe master of the opposition alliance would arrive, after which he could only wait to be captured. "Your disguise is useless in front of a universe master," Primal Chaos City Leader added. "You don't need a disguise. All you need to do is separate your golden horned beast body and your remote ocean body. Leave all your valuables with remote ocean body. As for universe masters of the Northern Territory Alliance, they'll only search for those two space beasts, and they won't be able to recognize your remote ocean body even if they see it. There are universe knights of all races on the original stars. You'll be identified in your camouflage, but your remote ocean body doesn't need it. Luo Feng smiled. Even if he kills Golden Horned Beast body, he won't be able to find any valuables, Primal Chaos City leader went on. He'll then start to inspect all the great beings on the original stars. But he won't dare to be reckless. As long as you separate your bodies, you can earn yourself enough time. I'll arrive by then. All you need to do is to survive until I arrive at the original stars. Luo Feng nodded. I understand, teacher. It was plain and simple. All Luo Feng had to do was stall his enemies and not go near the whirlpool portals. He would be safe when Primal Chaos City leader arrived. It was a simple plan, so simple that there were few flaws. Go, Primal Chaos City leader said. Remember what I said. Besides, the Universe Master of the Northern Territory Alliance might get there before I do. Don't give the plan away after he arrives. I understand, Luo Feng said, nodding. Within the Thousand Treasures River of the Primal Region, human territory. Thousand Treasures River vanished and transformed into a shirt, covering the towering Primal Chaos City leader, who now stood over 6,000 miles tall. He carried a rugged stone staff and stood in the sky barefoot, gazing out into the distance. I'll go to the original stars first, he said, but I'll be back soon. Stop studying your techniques, and help me guard the Primal region. Yes, brother. Primal Chaos City leader nodded. He took a step into space and disappeared. Several universe knights and servants in the palaces within the Thousand Treasures River noticed that Thousand Treasures River had suddenly disappeared. Where is the Thousand Treasures River? Thousand Treasures River disappeared. Our teacher might have gone out. Luo Feng's earthling original body also stood outside the palace and looked into the distance. I hope everything goes well, he whispered. At the end of the whirlpool portal closest to the place where the godly blade of Blade River Luo had appeared, a flash of light was approaching. Man Ku Knight is coming, someone cried. He has a domain-type true treasure, and we have our third-level arrangement. We're more likely to succeed now. No matter how powerful that space beast is, and even if he's a special life form, he won't be able to get away. The latest news is that some great beings of Hong Alliance are also trying to kill those space beasts. No. What should we do? Should we just wait here? Relax. The original stars are enormous, and nobody can teleport or initiate God country transportation here. Do you really think it's that easy to hunt someone down? Let's just wait here and guard this place. In the forest under the whirlpool portal to the outside, there were 7 beings in the forest where Bailey Knight and Chi Blood Palace leader landed. Chi Blood Palace leader, Beifeng Knight. You two finally arrived. You were supposed to arrive earliest. Wang Jiao Knight said that you two were surveying the surroundings. Chi Blood Palace leader snorted. Of course we were surveying the place. Do you really think we'll go fight those space beasts? Nothing's certain. Chi Blood Palace leader and Beifeng Knight both snorted. Do you think I would be back this soon if I was fighting the space beasts? It would take a long time to travel from the birthplace of the godly blade back here. Chi Blood Palace leader gazed apathetically at the being with almost 1,000 hooves. Don't speculate without any evidence. Chi Blood Palace leader and Beifeng Knight glanced at Wang Jiao Knight, who immediately realized that they'd failed. Fortunately, I used quite a few resources and valuables to recover my godly body, Chi Blood Palace leader said as he glanced around and sat down with his legs crossed. He thought, if they notice that my godly body is injured, there will be trouble. Meanwhile, 2 beings showed up at the whirlpool portal. Look! Something's happening. All the 9 supreme beings looked up into the sky. No need to hurry. They are universe knights who entered the original stars from the outside. They belong to the Hong Alliance. 2 universe knights of the Hong Alliance again. Why do great beings of Hong Alliance keep coming here? This worried the great beings of the Northern Territory Alliance who were hiding here. Beifeng Knight transmitted his mild voice, saying, perhaps the Hong Alliance also found out about the component of Blade River Luo. Wang Jiao Knight, report this to our alliance. We'll be in trouble if the Hong Alliance meddles. Okay. After the news about Blade River Luo spread through the virtual universe, quite a few universe knights raced toward there, and some of them only went there because they wanted to enjoy the fights. They all knew that a component of Blade River Luo would produce a furious upheaval, and there was no way they would miss it. Some of the universe knights closest to the birthplace had arrived, followed by many others. On the original star where Luo Feng resided, many great beings of the Hong Alliance were flying towards the birthplace of Blade River Luo. Meanwhile, the Northern Territory Alliance was constructing a delicate arrangement. After Luo Feng's chat with Primal Chaos City leader, a flash of light flew by in the distance. There's another forest, Golden Horned Beast said, looking afar and diving down at sublight speed. I'll fly into the forest and separate my remote ocean body and my Golden Horned Beast body. Golden Horned Beast body was fast. He quickly arrived above the forest and dove down. Golden Horned Beast body stopped after arriving at the forest. He stepped on a thick trunk and looked at his wing. The golden wing was trembling. What's happening? Luo Feng was astounded. Shawu wing, which had merged with the scaled wing, was trembling unrelentingly. It was shivering out of Luo Feng's control, as if some singular point of origin afar was attracting it like a magnet. Shawu wing has already recognized me as its master, Luo Feng said, shocked to his very core by what he was seeing. A true treasure that has recognized me as its master should completely follow my orders. Shouldn't it? Why is it out of control now? What's happening in that direction? Golden Horned Beast looked into the sky in the distance. He felt that if he didn't suppress it, Shawu Wing would lead him in that direction. What? What's happening? In that direction, a being stood in the sky. He was around 25 feet tall with thick legs and 8 arms. By all appearances, he looked as if he were made entirely of metal. He didn't have any hair on his body, but was completely bald. He was in the shape of a being of automaton race. He wore black armor, and there was a black set of wings on his back. The wing quivered crazily. The bald, 8-armed knight turned around and looked at his wing. He gazed into the distance. What's the meaning of this? My wing is a true treasure, and I've been utilizing it for hundreds of thousands of years. This has never happened. He was powerful and venerated. He had come to original stars 8 times before, and he'd been through far deadlier situations. However, this was the first time his true treasure wing had behaved outside of his control. What's going on? He said, his eyes gleaming coldly. He shook his wing and flew in the direction of the strange sensation like a flash of black light. Golden Horned Beast body stood on the trunk with his wing open. He looked up at the sky and could distinctively feel that the attraction was growing stronger by the second. It was as if the point of origin were approaching him. In that direction, there's a black spot. Golden Horned Beast body saw a beam of black light. There was a black point far in the distance racing toward him. It appeared to be a supreme being. It's him, said Golden Horned Beast body, gazing at the figure. The source of the disruption. The black light continued pressing on toward him. The being of automaton race also looked in Golden Horned Beast's direction, and saw the golden-winged body of the Golden Horned Beast. They now both saw each other. Wait, the wing on his back, said Golden Horned Beast, immediately noticing the black wing on the great being's back. The bald, 8-armed being looked down and saw the golden wing on Golden Horned Beast body. They sensed each other at the same time. Could it be that my wing is only a portion of a true treasure? Luo Feng murmured to himself. Luo Feng was firstly startled, then exhilarated. The 8-armed, bald knight was also overjoyed, having arrived at the same conclusion. My wing is only a component, he said, grinning. They gazed upon one another from a distance. An aura of hostility sizzled between them. This video will end here.